Well, I've been writing poetry for a very long time. I was introduced to the joys of poetry by my late father and my high school English teacher. People often ask me, when do you find the time to write? Flying around the world, spending a lot of time at work. And I found that the time I spent on airplanes was a perfect time to write. Hermetically sealed off from the rest of the world, I could focus on squeezing words onto paper or into a computer. In fact, I have a poem titled Plain Truths, Lay Any Truths. And the title of my book, Plain Truths, is a pun on plain truths. In my poetry, I look for the usual in the unusual, and perhaps the unusual in the usual. And I feel the title fits well with the conference theme of all that matters. All that matters, well, plain truths. The cover of my book was given to me by my friend, the eminent artist Anjali Ella Menon. My wife Poonama says that the cover is the best part of the book. So you can check out both the cover and the contents if you like. My first poem that I'm going to read to you is set in two of the most beautiful places on the planet, Kerala and California, the places I'm fortunate to call home. Generational journeys. Driving before daybreak to San Francisco airport, I'm reminded of childhood journeys in Kerala. The taxi would arrive in pitch darkness from all of a mile away to take us to the railway station just 2 miles away. Panikar's taxi service is always punctual, my father would say. On the dot, he will arrive at 5 a.m. The driver, a wisp of a man still half asleep, would sit seemingly stuck to the steering wheel. On this scenic highway, I hear my father's words, recall the trips I made with him to the railway station and then on the train. Slow journeys, 100 miles in 8 hours. Then I settled into a plane to New York City. Just 5 hours across the continent to see my son. I am offered a chilled Bellini and a plate of cheese, but I think of tender coconut water and the slow train and my father's sweat-cool arm. My next poem is also generational. This is when my second son, Vikram, left for college 10 years ago, and Poonama and I were going to be empty nesters. When you leave for Vikram, the porch light will no longer fight the darkness. The night latch will once again secure the door, and the house will shrink a little when you leave. My next poem is for you, my friends. Friends. Some are planets, smooth, symmetrical. We see them again and again, gain comfort from their precise, steady motion. Others, rough-edged asteroids, hurtle along courses unnoticed, appearing unannounced to renew connections. The stars rarely retrace their transits. Light years away, they become points of navigation for us to triangulate on journey and direction. And then the comets. With mysterious orbits and complex precession, they surpass stellar approaches, then fade in rapid recession. They say comets are made of ice. To us, they seem like fire, energy and enigma, enduring elliptical trajectories. Their fleeting returns are heady victories. My next poem is for the poet Kamala Das. She was a pioneering feminist poet of India. She was born in Kerala, lived outside, and finally lived in Kochi. And the poem describes my last meeting with Kamala Das. A quarter century, a third of a lifetime later, I see her. She cannot see me well. She cannot walk without help. Husbands have been lost to her. The first to death, the second victim of cold feet. Her voice remains. She recalls her old salon, the butterflies and the businesslike, those seeking and those offering titillation, the affairs that started and ended on the floors of her salon. Moving quickly to the next poem, this one is set in Alibag, which is a village outside Bombay, across the bay from Bombay, where the well-heeled of Bombay have weekend houses, and there are also some permanent residents. Love thy neighbor. Our neighbor, Raja says, is the murderer. He speaks in jest, but it is true. A contract killer lives next door. By night, he prowls Mumbai's alleys, his tools, a butcher's knife and a piece of rope. Tasks executed, he repairs to his halcyon haven to sleep and rest. Why do you worry, sir, the caretaker says. That is just his business. You are an admiral. He is a killer. He, like you, is a nice man. And here's a poem about parties. Once in a while, a poem is just thrown at you, like the one that I just read, I was spending an afternoon with a friend, and I hear this happens. And then all you have to do is to just catch that poem. So here I was at a party in Delhi, and I was chatting with a journalist, and when this poem occurred. Party animals. Observe them, the novelist says, sipping her Chardonnay. Can you name the species? See how they move in the genteel jungle of the cocktail party. Watch the preeners, the cockerels, strutting with a touch of color. Note the predator eyes of interlocutors hunting for elusive prey, the lissome cheetahs, lions, and scented lionesses fluidly closing in, and the jackals prowling behind the hunters to observe and post-party vivisect. Finally, believing in Bernoulli. I think of you, Monsieur Bernoulli, every time I look out of the airplane window and see the wing tilt bravely into the air. I think of my faith that your physics will not fail, that the flow of air over that wing will every time create low pressure, a rush and undertow of air to bear us aloft. And of you, Isaac Newton, your third law of motion, when I see below clouds and continents traverse as the jets thrust back, I feel safe enough to close my eyes and know your laws will work every time. Thank you.